Lewis Hamilton had been tracking the days since his last Formula One victory, with the number inching closer to 1,000. However, after a spectacular triumph in front of his home crowd at the British Grand Prix on Sunday, his 104th win in F1, a relieved Hamilton can finally stop counting. Tears flowed as he crossed the finish line, having fended off Lando, Norris and Max Verstappen to secure first place. Waving the Union Jack to the ecstatic Silverstone audience, Hamilton confessed that controlling his emotions was a struggle. He admitted to fearing he might never win again and revealed that the winless streak had taken a toll on his mental health. The 7-time world champion triumphed at the British Grand Prix, securing Mercedes' second win in a row this season. The atmosphere was electric as all 3 British drivers took turns leading the race, drawing cheers from the grandstands. Mercedes dominated the early laps, with George Russell and Lewis Hamilton creating a comfortable gap while Max Verstappen worked to overtake Lando Norris. Russell began to distance himself from Hamilton, and it looked like the Silver Arrows were on course for another. Then the rain came, and the real drama began. Verstappen found himself falling behind the Mercedes pair, and Norris seized the opportunity, utilising DRS on the hangar straight to make his move into Stowe. Oscar Piastri followed suit, with the second McLaren effortlessly passing the Red Bull driver. Verstappen struggled to keep up as the race progressed, falling out of contention for most of the race. Remember, Mercedes let their drivers duke it out, but cleanly. On lap 18, Hamilton snuck past Russell, but his lead was fleeting. Norris came barreling down the track. Both Mercedes cars went off on lap 19, allowing Norris to grab P2 when they rejoined. By the next lap, Norris overtook Hamilton for the lead, with his teammate pressuring Russell, soon turning it into a McLaren 1-2. The critical question was whether the conditions warranted intermediate tyres. With another rainstorm approaching, Verstappen was the first among the leaders to switch. McLaren and Mercedes opted for different strategies. Norris was brought in by McLaren, leaving Piastri out for another lap, while Mercedes double-stacked their pit stops. The surprises weren't over. On lap 34, Russell was instructed to retire his car, marking the second retirement of the race. Mercedes attributed this to a suspected water system issue. With the sun starting to shine at Silverstone, the pressure was on Hamilton to close in on Norris. The battle of the Brits raged on. Norris botched his pit stop for the soft tyres, and Hamilton took advantage, zipping past by pitting earlier than the McLaren driver. The Silverstone crowd erupted in cheers as the 7-time world champion seized control, aiming for a record-breaking 9th win at this iconic circuit. Yet, Verstappen re-emerged as a threat, clocking some of the fastest laps in the final 10 laps. His early switch from intermediates to slicks was paying dividends. While Norris and Hamilton were on soft tyres, the Dutchman opted for the hard compound. By lap 46, Norris was feeling the heat from Verstappen, with the gap shrinking to under 2 seconds, while Hamilton maintained a lead of over 2.5 seconds ahead of the McLaren. On lap 49, Verstappen made his move, sliding past Norris into second place. However, Hamilton's lead proved insurmountable, holding over 3 seconds as Verstappen overtook the McLaren. Time was indeed on Hamilton's side. The moment Hamilton spoke on the radio after his home victory, his emotions were palpable. Sitting in his car with his hands resting on his helmet, the weight of the triumph was clear. After pulling up to the P1 marker, he embraced his father in a lengthy hug and shared a touching moment with his mother. He then jogged toward the fans, proudly waving the Union Jack in the air, soaking in the cheers from the jubilant crowd. This 104th F1 victory was monumental for Hamilton, marking his first win since the 2021 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. It was especially poignant as it was his final British GP with Mercedes, the team he joined at the tender age of 13. At 39, Hamilton is set to move to Ferrari in 2025. Reflecting on his victory drought, Hamilton said, "You've got to continue to dig deep, even when you feel you're at the bottom of the barrel. There were definitely days between 2021 and now where I doubted if I was good enough or if I'd ever get back to this point. But having great people around me, supporting me, and seeing my team put in the effort really motivated me to do the same." Hamilton's victory highlights Mercedes' remarkable journey since the 2022 regulation changes. The team went from being constructors' champions to having the 4th, sometimes even 5th fastest car in recent years. However, recent weeks have shown a resurgence. Mercedes was the 3rd fastest car, yet Hamilton managed to secure the win. This comeback underscores the team's resilience and determination to return to the top. George's win last week was incredible, but it wasn't achieved purely on pace, Hamilton remarked. "This weekend was the first time we did it purely on pace, with our qualifying on the front row. Even in that first stint, both of us were pulling away from everyone else. Ultimately, I think today's conditions allowed the driver to make a significant difference. The conditions at Silverstone were challenging with intermittent rain, making pit stops and tyre choices critical talking points. Red Bull and Verstappen made the right call with hard tyres, and Hamilton admitted that if the race had been longer, he wasn't sure he could have maintained P1 with Verstappen gaining ground. Meanwhile, McLaren squandered their opportunity to win their home race due to mishandling Norris and Piastri's pit stops, compounded by Norris missing his marks. This race was a masterclass in strategy, showing how split-second decisions can make or break a team's chances. Toto Wolff has lived up to his promise of a race win for Lewis Hamilton as the duo prepare to part ways at the end of the season. The past 3 years have been challenging for Hamilton since his controversial loss to Max Verstappen, with no race wins to his name during that period. Instead, he has finished second 9 times, while Red Bull has dominated the field. Speaking to Sky Sports after the race, Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff paid tribute to the champion. Of course, the last British Grand Prix together. It's like a fairy tale, how we leave the British crowds there with the most successful British driver ever. And this time around on real pace. I mean, we were quick in almost all conditions, but it's on merit, and it shows the grit of this team, that we never stopped believing, we never stopped working, and when we finally started to unlock the potential before Imola, now we are on a roll. However, his winless streak has finally come to an end, just over a week after Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff vowed to break the spell. Wolff made this pledge following the Austrian Grand Prix, where Hamilton finished 4th and George Russell secured the victory. He humorously suggested that Mercedes' improved performance at Silverstone might have caught Max Verstappen's attention. "When I'm told to shut up, I know the game is on, and he is aiming for victory," said Peter Bonington after Hamilton's fairy tale win. "It's been a long time, and he and I worked hard to get back here. It's baby steps, but it has taken a lot. Get in there, Lewis," yelled Hamilton's race engineer, Peter Bonington, after the 39-year-old crossed the line. "You are the man. You are the man. I have been waiting for this." Hamilton's voice cracked as he replied, "Thank you so much, guys. It means a lot to get this one. I love you guys." Crying in his cockpit, Hamilton said, "I love you, Bono." The F1 season has officially hit its halfway point, with 12 races completed and 12 more to go after the intense triple header. This year, we've witnessed 6 different race winners, a stark contrast to the combined 5 winners across 2022 and 2023. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you believe Lewis Hamilton has made the right decision by moving to Ferrari? Will Toto Wolff regret seeing Lewis leave Mercedes after 13 years? Share your opinions in the comments below. Until next time, goodbye for now.